Hey, it's Jenna, 21, voice still catching when the memory hits. If you're remember the exact second one family visit rewrote every rule you thought you knew, stay right here. Smash subscribe, drop a comment, tell me the moment your uncle's truck rolled in and your stomach flipped. Let's dive in, slow and deep. I grew up in a sleepy coastal town in North Carolina, the kind where the biggest news is whose fishing boat needs a new pop, and everybody waves at stop signs. Our house sat 3 short blocks from the Atlantic, white clapboard with peeling paint, wraparound porch where Mom grew hydrangeas and old galvanized buckets, and a driveway cracked from years of salt air. Dad worked construction, home by 5 with sawdust in his hair. Mom waitressed at the crab shack, came home smelling of fried shrimp and lemon wedges. I was home from UNC for summer break after sophomore year, still figuring out who I was when lectures and dorm parties weren't dictating my schedule. Uncle Mike, Dad's younger brother, called Thursday morning while I was still in bed scrolling TikTok. "Road tripping up from Atlanta. Mind if I crash a couple nights?" Dad's face lit up like Christmas. They hadn't seen each other since Grandma's funeral 2 years back. Mom immediately started stripping the guest room sheets, humming off key. I remembered Mike from childhood cookouts, towering, loud laugh, always sneaking me extra marshmallows for s'mores when Mom wasn't looking. He rolled up Friday just after sunset in a black Ford F-150, country station blasting Luke Combs. Door swung open and out stepped 6'3" of solid sun-browned muscle, broad shoulders stretching a faded gray Henley, sleeves pushed to the elbow, dark jeans worn soft at the knees, scuffed work boots. 42, freshly divorced, owned a landscaping company that kept him outdoors year-round. Hair buzzed short with a touch of silver at the temples, stubble framing a jaw that could cut glass, green eyes that crinkled when he smiled. He smelled like pine soap, diesel, and something electric. Dad met him halfway down the driveway with a bear hug that lifted Mike's boots off the ground. Mom kissed his cheek, left a faint lipstick smudge. I hung back on the porch steps in denim cutoffs and a Carolina blue UNC tank, hair twisted in a messy ponytail, flip-flops dangling from one hand. Mike's gaze found mine over Dad's shoulder, held a beat too long. "Jenna? Holy hell, kid grew up!" His voice was low, gravel wrapped in honey, the kind that settled in your bones. Inside the house exploded with stories. Mike's new crew chief who spoke only in movie quotes, Dad's busted knee from a roofing job, Mom's prize-winning tomatoes that beat Mrs. Henderson at the county fair. I set the table, stealing glances every time I passed the living room. The way his forearms corded when he poured sweet tea from the pitcher, the low rumbling chuckle when Mom teased him about settling down again. After dinner, we migrated to the porch for cards. Rummy, pennies on the table, cicadas screaming in the live oaks. Mike's knee brushed wine under the wicker table. A jolt shot straight up my thigh. I told myself it was static from the humidity. Saturday, we fired up the grill. Shrimp skewers, corn dripping butter, cold beers sweating in koozies. Mike wore navy board shorts low on his hips and a faded Braves cap backward, skin already turning bronze from one afternoon in the sun. He told stories that had Dad wheezing, hiking the Smokies with a busted compass, fixing a zero-turn mower with nothing but duct tape and prayer. The legendary time Dad tried surfing behind Uncle Ray's ski boat and face-planted into a sandbar. I laughed until my ribs ached, cheeks flushed from beer, and the way Mike's eyes kept finding mine across the picnic table. By 9, the sky had bruised to deep indigo, stars pricking through. Air smelled of charcoal and salt. Mike stretched, Henley riding just enough to flash a strip of ridged abs dusted with dark hair. "Beach walk? Tide's low. Water still warm?" Dad yawned, said he'd turn in early. Long week. Mom waved us off with a sleepy smile. I grabbed an oversized beach towel, slipped into flip-flops, heart already sprinting. The public access path was 2 streets over, dunes glowing silver under a waxing half-moon. Sand cooled fast after sunset, sliding between my toes like sugar. We kicked off shoes at the waterline, left them in a pile. Ocean lapped gentle, bioluminescent plankton sparkling with every wave. No lifeguards, no late-night joggers, just us, the dark, and the hush of surf. Mike waded in first, water climbing his calves, thighs, waist. "Come on, Jenna. Feels like bath water."
I hesitated in my red bikini top and denim shorts, goosebumps rising. He turned, moonlight carving sharp shadows across the planes of his chest, water beating on his skin. Live a little, college girl. I unbuttoned shorts, let them drop, stepped out of the pile, towel abandoned on dry sand. Water kissed my ankles, then knees, then thighs. Warm sook wrapping me. Mike stood waist deep. For my 5'4" frame, it reached mid-rib, buoyant and alive. Waves rocked us closer with every breath. He splashed. I squealed. Splash back. Laughter echoing over empty dunes. He moved nearer, current pushing us until our arms brushed. Something warm, firm, unmistakable grazed my hip beneath the surface. I froze, breath catching. Looked up. Mike's eyes glinted green in the moonlight, slow smile spreading. Water's hiding secrets tonight, ha! Pulse hammering in my ears. I glanced down. Opaque black water revealed nothing, but I felt it again, deliberate, a slow drag along my thigh. He was naked. Completely. The realization hit like a rogue wave.
Moonlight silvered the rolling waves, turning foam to mercury. Mike's voice dropped to a murmur over the surf. "Want to feel for yourself?" My throat tightened. I nodded before my brain caught up, the wordless yes hanging between us. He took my hand, calloused, warm, led me out of the water. Droplets streamed off our skin, tracing paths down his back, my stomach, the curve of my hip. We reached the oversized towel spread on dry sand above the tide line. He lay back without hesitation, arms tucked behind his head, elbows winged out, every inch of him on display. Moonlight painted him in stark relief, broad chest rising and falling, abs cut sharp. Dark trail leading downward to God. Thick, heavy, curving upward in a smooth arc that nearly brushed his lower abs. I'd never seen anything like it. Porn didn't count. My mouth went desert dry. He grinned, lazy and knowing. Curiosity killed the cat, Jana. Sand cool under my knees as I knelt beside him. Bikini suddenly too tight, too little. Hand trembling, I reached. First contact. Velvet skin over steel heat. He inhaled sharply when my fingers closed around the base. My thumb and middle finger barely met. Pulsing, alive, a heartbeat against my palm. I stroked slow, exploratory, up the underside, thumb tracing the prominent vein, circling the ridge. His head fell back, throat exposed, Adam's apple working. Hips lifted subtly into my grip, encouraging. I found a rhythm, firmer, faster, the slick of ocean water easing the glide. His breath hitched, abs clenching in waves. I leaned closer, ponytail brushing his thigh, mesmerized by the way he responded to every twist of my wrist. Tension coiled tight. His hand found my knee, squeezed once. Warning or plea? Then he tensed, groaned, low from the chest. Warm stripes hit my cheek, chin, lips, and quick pulses. Shock jolted me backward onto my heels, wiping instinctively. Mike sat up fast, eyes wide with apology. "Shit, Jenna. I'm so sorry." He cupped my face gently, thumb sweeping the mess, then leaned in and kissed me soft, tasting salt and himself. "You okay? Talk to me." I nodded, dazed, adrenaline buzzing. He grabbed his discarded t-shirt, dabbed my skin with tender care, folding the fabric to a clean spot each time. We sat side by side, knees touching, waves whispering secrets to the shore. "Our little secret," he said, voice rough. I agreed, the weight of it settling warm in my chest. Sunday dawned cotton candy pink, gulls wheeling overhead. I woke to the smell of salt and the memory of heat on my skin, cheeks burning before my eyes opened. Downstairs, coffee gurgled and bacon popped. Mike stood at the stove in basketball shorts and nothing else, flipping blueberry pancakes with the same steady hands that had trembled under my touch hours ago. Dad buried in the sports section, Mom humming along to the radio. I slid into a chair, avoided eye contact. Mike slid a plate in front of me, 3 pancakes, extra berries, syrup on the side. Our fingers brushed. Electricity crackled up my arm. All day we played perfect family. Morning coffee on the porch, Mike's knee nudging mine under the table. Beach volleyball in the backyard. His team won, high fives lingering half a second too long. Ice cream at the pier, waffle cones dripping in the heat, his tongue catching a stray drip while watching me. Fire pit that night, marshmallows toasted golden, stories looping back to childhood. Every shared glance loaded, every accidental brush deliberate. Bedtime crept in. I lingered in the hallway outside the guest room, barefoot in sleep shorts and tank. Mike's door cracked open, warm lamplight spilled out. He pulled me inside, pressed me gently against the wall, kissed me slow and deep, tongue tracing mine, hands framing my face. "Leave it dawn," he whispered against my lips. Wanted one more taste. His palm slid under my tank, thumbs circling lazily, drawing a shiver. We didn't go further, walls thin, parent steps away. Just kisses, breathless promises, the imprint of his arousal against my hip. He slipped out before sunrise, truck wombling soft down the street. I stood on the porch in pajamas, waving at red taillights until they vanished around the corner. House felt cavernous again.
Mike texts on holidays. Safe, surface stuff. Dad's birthday grill-outs. Thanksgiving turkey pics. The occasional, "How's the job?" Never a hint of that night. I finished my psych degree, moved to Raleigh, built a career in HR, dated perfectly nice guys who ordered craft beer and talked fantasy football. None of them measured up, literally or otherwise. Some summers, I drive the 3 hours to the coast alone, park at the public access, walk that exact stretch of beach at dusk. Moonlight on the waves triggers muscle memory. Velvet heat in my palm, the throb of his pulse, the shock of warmth on my skin, his gentle cleanup with a t-shirt that smelled like him. I smile into the dark, cheeks warm, secret, safe. He remarried last year, met a kindergarten teacher at Lowe's, 2 stepkids, golden retriever. I sent a blender as a wedding gift. Dad says they're happy in Charlotte. I am too. Downtown apartment, promotion to senior recruiter, cat named Pickles who sleeps on my pillow. But that single night lives in a locked box in my mind, key tossed into the Atlantic. If you've ever touched forbidden fruit and kept the juice on your lips for years, tell me below. Subscribe for more truths the tide can't erase.